welcome to the Recovery Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Miller. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And today I want to take a moment to reflect on the year. The year has been filled with significant changes in my life and moments of gratitude. And in my morning meeting this morning, we were talking about the 3 legacies of the sobriety program, which are recovery, unity, and service. And as I was listening to folks, I just started thinking about how absolutely incredible my sobriety program is and how it has kept me afloat this year. You know, it's remarkable it's remarkable how these simple yet profound principles of the program have not only kept me sober, but also brought me serenity and joy this year. In all of the chaos, it has felt like internal chaos. On the outside, I think it looks fine to people. On the inside, it's chaos. Just so many emotions, and so the program and these 3 legacies, the recovery, unity, and service, are like what guides me through really the most challenging periods of my life so far, like my getting me sober, and then what I've been dealing with for the past 2.5 years. But particularly this year, when I really recognized what was going on and that my life had changed. You know, it takes me a little longer than others maybe, but it took me 2 years to realize, Rach, like, your life changed when you had the stroke. So it's time to accept it. And this year I have been able to start working through that. But it's because of my sobriety program and these 3 legacies, being able to understand how to prioritize recovery. Number 1, how to do it. You know, what are all of these steps that I work through, all the stuff that I talk about in the podcast, having that foundation for how to focus on prioritize recovery. I learned that in the sobriety program. And the idea of unity, the idea of being able to reach out to others and not think that I've got the answers, but know that the answers are out there. There is an answer, but I need to connect with other human beings in order to get there. And being of service to others, even in all this stuff that I'm dealing with right now, what really helps me a lot of times is doing things like this, like the podcast, where I'm actually talking and I'm picturing you. You know, I'm picturing who's listening, and I'm talking as if I'm talking to you in front of me. And it's because I want to help you. I want whatever pain I'm going through to be the only pain that we endure. I want to help you learn how to figure out your stuff by using my pain, you know, and that's being of service to others. When I show up to a sobriety meeting, I'm being of service because I may have something to share that might help somebody else. And everybody else who shows up to that meeting is being of service also. You can be of service just like that, just by showing up. But like we're we're signing up for service positions. So in the sobriety meeting, we have people who um, chair the meeting, where they're just kind of doing all the logistics and making sure that the meeting runs and we do everything in order and get all the literature shared on the screen and stuff like that. And then we have a secretary who shares any announcements that are going on or anything like that. And so these positions are also being of service, but all you got to do is show up, and you're being of service. You're being a part of that unity. So this year marked a personal milestone in my career. I achieved the goal that I had set for myself years ago when I first got at this job, and I reached it. And in an unexpected way, I had to make the difficult decision to leave my job and go on disability. And maybe it's not the peak of someone else's career. That's not what they strive to be, the peak of their career, but that's what the peak that I was striving for. Um, and that's exactly when I had to leave. And it was devastating, to say the least. I was grieving for quite some time. I've gotten to the point where I've talked to a couple people this week, actually, from my job, and I'm starting to like not remember the names of things and the names of people. So that's kind of it means I'm probably coming out of the other end of grieving. So that's a positive thing. It makes me laugh, but it's a positive thing. So, in addition to that, I talked about being of service in my sobriety meetings. Well, I was volunteering for a bunch of different things in those meetings. We're on Zoom, and I had to step down from all of those as well, because I couldn't use my computer in that way. Actually, at that time, I was using VoiceOver, so I couldn't even look at my computer or my phone at that point. I still don't hold the only service position I serve is ones that I don't have to look at anything, so I can still be of service. But um, it's actually, looking at the bright side of it, it has allowed me to sit back and really enjoy the meetings and be more immersed in the actual message of the meeting that was in the literature that we're reading, and take notes and reflect on it throughout the day. A lot of times it gets injected in my podcast episode in some way, because it's really sets the tone for what I'm gonna think about all day. And so I think that there's been a lot of changes in these ways too, just a lot of what I was doing for myself, like at work and in my meetings and stuff, and all of that has changed. And now I'm in this mode where I just sit back. I don't know how to do that. I have a hard time just sitting back and relaxing, but I'm learning how to do it. So my stroke recovery journey this year, I think, has been a driving force, actually, that's propelling me forward rather than holding me back. That's what I'm trying to get it to do. I've been getting a lot of messages over the past, I think just this past week, I have gotten so many messages from people thanking me for doing my podcast and saying that that I've inspired them and they want to connect with me after the new year and just thank me and tell me to keep doing it. And so, I mean, that's really encouraging for me, and I truly appreciate it. It does make me feel good and makes me want to keep doing it because you can imagine just not a lot of people will, not everybody like logs onto your podcast and like follows you and likes, does thumbs up on all this. So it's hard to see what's happening out there, if people are enjoying it, but I try to remember when I start getting caught up in like, oh, how many followers I have, how many likes do I have? I let that go because that's not why I'm doing it. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for me so that I can stay sober and I can prioritize my recovery. And two, I'm doing it because if I can help one single person, then it's all worth it. And that's what I try to remember when I start when I start thinking of it as a business, because that's my career mindset. Start thinking of it as some kind of business, like I need to have as many as possible. And no, that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I want to be helpful and be of service to others. I want to, like I said earlier, use my pain to help others, so that nobody else has to do it, do it on their own. Um, so I think despite the fact this year that I've faced daily headaches, I've had a headache every single day, every single day. And despite that, I continue to wake up in the morning, every morning, and go to my 7 a.m. meeting, and I'm always laughing with them. I'm always laughing with the people that we show up in the morning because that's just what we do. And I'm determined to move beyond my struggles. And I'm not just there to listen, I'm also there to share my experience so that it can hopefully resonate with others as well. And I think one of my biggest challenges this year has been that my thinker seems to be a little bit broken. But I continue to seek professional help from medical specialists like neuropsychiatrists and neuroophthalmologists and neurologists. And I am refusing to let my health challenges define me. Um, Tonight I was sitting on the couch with my daughter, and all of a sudden I just started getting these sharp pains in my head out of nowhere. I don't even know what triggered it. It might have been a light that was to the right of me, but it's hard to say. But it's still there, it's still, when I feel like I'm doing all right, then I get this reminder that, you're still sick, or you're still, I don't even know, do you call it sick? You're still in recovery, I guess I should say. And it's okay though. It's okay because I do something about it, We left the environment that we were in. We came upstairs and played with her, what I'm calling the Christmas kitty. So her cat came home with her. So we were in there playing with the Christmas kitty. So it's all good. And today my heart is full. My daughter came home today, and my son and his girlfriend will be joining us tomorrow. And then on Christmas Eve afternoon. Wait a minute. Yeah, Christmas afternoon, my daughter's boyfriend will be completing our festive gathering. And my boyfriend and I are eagerly anticipating celebrating Christmas with all of them. We'll have a house of six of us, and then we're going to have my two dogs who will be completely unaware, hopefully, that we also have two cats that will be in the bedrooms upstairs. So last time my daughter came home, she brought her cat, and my two dogs were never the wiser. Had no idea that there was a cat in there. I know it's interesting. I think that they think my daughter smells like it. That's the smell that they smell. That it's my daughter. Because they haven't seen the cat, and I don't know. It's funny. But my son and his girlfriend are bringing their cat too, so we'll see what happens. But hopefully, everybody lives through the Christmas holiday, right? So, just as I suspected, though, you know that I've had a hard week. And just like I suspected, when my daughter walked through the door, my Christmas spirit came rushing in with her. And this is the magic of recovery in action. When I practice the program that I have, it's like I'm transitioning from lows earlier this week to these, joyous reunion of family in the spirit of Christmas. Like, that is so cool. It's so cool that that I can feel so low, and I can watch myself grow into where I want to be. I can watch myself heal. And it's fascinating when you let it happen. When you let the pain be felt and you recognize when you're at a low, okay, this is it. This is where the rubber rubber meets the road. Yeah. This is where I've got to reach out to people. This is where I've got to lean into my program. This is where I need to do the opposite of what my isolation wants me to do, the opposite of what my disease wants me to do. And you just go through the motions. You act as if, you follow the steps, call people, and you can watch yourself heal emotionally and mentally. Um, and then I get to the other side of it and I'm like, wow, I did it again. I healed whatever it was that was holding me down. Um, I've I've risen out of it, and it's just amazing to be able to do that. I love to be able to share it in the podcast. I love to be able to come in here. Of course, um, I'd rather show up for every episode and be super upbeat, but that's just not realistic. But I love to show up here. Show up here means I'm in my closet with my laptop and my microphone. But I love to show up here and and be completely real, just genuine, and you can hear the disappointment in my voice when I'm disappointed, and you can hear the growth and the joy and the serenity when I come out of the other side. I mean, that's cool. And it's not just me, it can happen for all of us to do that. You just have to just lean in and do the things you don't want to do when you know it's time to do it. And it's hard, but the more I do it, the more it just starts to become a habit. I start to, okay, when I feel this feeling, I'm going to do this. And I've talked about that early on in my episodes is, being able to match those feelings with those actions so that they become a habit. So in the midst of all of this change this year and the challenges that I have been going through and continue to, next year is going to be more of the same. My next appointment isn't even until February, so I'm going to be dealing with the same stuff. But gratitude continues to be an anchor for me. Um, I'm reminded that sobriety for me isn't just about not drinking. It's about embracing my life, even post stroke life, with an open heart and a willingness to adapt in whatever way I have to adapt so that, coming full circle, I don't pick up a drink. And so thank you so much for joining me as I continue to, continue on this recovery journey. And I look forward to continuing to share more stories and insights, and who knows what memories are gonna come up over the next year. And I'm sure I'm gonna get lots of memories coming up here over the next week or so as the holiday comes through. Um, as I say that, I have all these snapshots of different Christmases with my family as a child, and with the kids when they were little. So it'll be fun. So tune in over the holiday through New Year's, and I think we can travel back in time and see what other memories that I've got from, whether it's my drinking days or just what kind of growth that I can find from when I was a kid to who I am now and stuff. So I think it'll be interesting, and I look forward to sharing it with you in the days ahead. So thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.